Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to LSRTV's Friday night doubleheader here on iRacing Live. With the first stop on the schedule will be the Roddcar Truck Tour live at Dover International Speedway, getting set to do battle for 100 laps at what they call the Monster Mile. Joining me, Andy Kessler, topside in the sim racing broadcast booth, is iSuper Speedway Series champion Josh Ball. And, of course, getting the picture to you tonight, the wonderful Cisco Scaramuza. Josh, welcome to Dover. It's kind of a unique change of schedule. Tonight was supposed to be the iRock Series of Champions, but however, because of iRacing updates, we're going to run that next week, so we get to move the Truck Series up 1 week earlier, and instead of the off week, these guys find themselves here at Dover, and quite 2 weeks ago with the trucks, and we're pretty much at Bristol, except a little bit larger, but a high-banked oval nonetheless, and some great action we'll see here tonight.
Yeah, I'm hoping there'll be a little bit more green flag action tonight, but definitely a similar track here at the Monster Mile, 1.0 miles even. Mile track. These guys don't see too many of these on the circuit. A lot of additions from last year, but this is definitely a fun track to get around. It's going to prove a little bit hard here on the coming off of turn 2. Your car can get very loose, truck that is, and also coming off of 4, it just turns to be so tight and then snapping loose at the last second. So you got to watch for that wall, and these guys out there, I'm sure, will be able to put on a great show either way.
Yeah, it definitely can get very hairy when you're running side by side, especially through the corner. Somebody's got to give before you get to the exit of the corner. That's usually where we see all the accidents happen, when you're side by side running off of these corners. Just makes it so hard with these trucks. You're either loose, you get up into the wall, or you're tight and you push up into that guy to your outside if you're on that bottom line. So it's going to be one thing to keep an eye on, especially the first few laps, so everybody pretty much gets sorted out. Then we'll see things start getting ramped up. You'll see guys running different lines as well, running the bottom line, running towards the middle of the racetrack as well, sort of diamonding the corners. It's kind of a unique track when it comes to that, where we'll drive in hard, push up in the center, but then really turn that wheel to the left and hammer it off the corner. So it's definitely something, whole different lines, and as the track rubbers up over the course of the night, we'll definitely see things shake up. A slow pit road, though, as well, 33 miles an hour, so it's not typical that we see a lot of green flag pit stops at this racetrack, but if it does, it's one of those unique ones. Getting onto pit road, it makes it real tough, kind of sneaks up on you real quick.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be hard to get down there under green flag conditions. So it'll be interesting to see how everybody handles that, if we even get to that. This track, again, is pretty short, 1 mile, just like we said. Still carrying a pretty decent amount of speed around here. Expect to see a lot of guys using the upper groove throughout the later part of the race once their tires wear off. But we're getting excited, getting ready really here, Andy. Group qualifying's about to take place here in less than 30 seconds, and it should be interesting to see how it all pans out. A lot of guys, a lot of teammates up there in the top 5 right now. We got three of the 6-man team members up there in the top 5, so should be interesting to see if they can still lay down a good lap once qualifying starts.
Yeah, you talk about those 3 guys you said at the top of the board in practice. Quick look at the standings. Those guys are right there at the top of the standings as well, sitting 1, 2, and 3. Seth the Merchant with a commanding lead here so far after 7 races of this season, about the halfway point of this season here as of tonight. And you look at the standings, 41 points over his teammate Christian Peterson. And you also look at of the 7 races we've had, those 3 guys account for 6 of those wins. So it's been a pretty dominating season for that team here so far, but the points don't show that. It's a very commanding lead for Seth the Merchant, and it's going to take pretty close to a miracle, I think, at this point with how well he's running this season. He always seems to find himself up there in the top 3 or top 5 at the end of these things. So Seth the Merchant, for the rest of the field, they got to hope that he has some problems. And this could be one of those tracks, though, just something else, somebody else's mistake. Qualifying is going to be very important for Seth the Merchant and the rest of the field.
Yeah, and like we were talking about later on tonight, it's not as hard for these guys. Actually, I say it's harder because there is no chase. Later on tonight, the iSuper Speedway Series you'll see here around 10 o'clock Eastern. they have a chase format. But here in the Roddcar Truck Tour, that's not the case. It's just cumulative throughout the season. Whoever has the most points wins. So, you know, wins are definitely go a long way, but we saw last year's season champion Josh Hanner able to pull it off with only one win. That was close to the end of the season. So as long as Seth the Merchant can keep getting top 5s, top 10s, you know, avoiding all these bad wrecks or anything like that, we don't have any resets. So as long as he can stay up there and avoid one of those costly DNFs, he should. He's in the hot bird seat right now.
Yeah, he absolutely is, and it doesn't do the field any good right now to see him on the board in second here as qualifying continues to go on. Still 3 minutes left, though. Plenty of time for these guys to reset themselves and get back out there and give it another go. But for Seth the Merchant, another strong qualifying effort here on this evening will put him up towards the front of the field, which is exactly what you need here. Track position is key. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a hard place to pass. Definitely a place that isn't the easiest place to pass. Depends on where you catch the traffic that's in front of you. But with that said, it's time to head down trackside for the opening ceremonies for the singing of tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And we'd like to thank Jaden Berkey for that rendition of the national anthem, and of course the virtual Thunderbirds giving us our flyby here at Daytona International Speedway. Qualifying just under a minute still left to go here in this one, and got a new pole position on top of the board right now as time starts to expire. Mark Jorgensen has put up the fast time here so far in qualifying with just about maybe enough time to get one more lap in for these guys, and other than that, it looks like a solid starting position for that 88 truck. We talked about him over this course of this season here. He's had quite a turnaround, Josh, since the end of 2015, and he's put on some strong races, some strong finishes. Just hasn't quite cracked that victory lane here as of yet here in 2016, but he is close, and he does know running up front week after week, those wins eventually will come for him.
Exactly, and he's definitely turning around. A lot more confidence there in that 88 truck and 88 car later on tonight. But it's definitely more confidence there. Definitely fun to be back up to the front. And he's coming up through the points in the iSuper Speedway Series, so he's definitely enjoying himself out there. He'll probably break through here within the next couple of weeks and get that win.
It's always a lot more fun when you're running good and you're getting good finishes. And we know he didn't have a lot of fun at all because I think if you look at the stats from last season, it was in that whole iSuper Speedway Series, I think he finished maybe 3 races that whole season. That's exactly not going to give you any confidence. So obviously this season has been a major turnaround. But the clock has struck 0 on qualifying here tonight for the Roddcar Truck Tour. And we'll throw it down and we'll look at tonight's LSRTV starting grid. And on the pole, like we just mentioned, it's the 88 truck, Mark Jorgensen Jr. with a 22.804. Christian Peterson start on the outside, while Seth the Merchant, our points leader, starts third. Kyle Manger will start in that 4th spot. And rounding out the top 5, that's the 98 of Greg Hooks.
94 of Frank Busiala will start on the outside of row 3, P6, Alex Halliner, Rodney Wofford. Make up row 4 and row 5, Brandon Monsavice and Matthew Quick.
Starting 11th in that number 23 truck, that's Jared Haggerty. 12th will be the 52 of Casey Malone, last week's winner. 13th will be the 088 of Kent Connolly. Brandon Chaburko making a comeback in that 3 truck. He starts 14th. And 15th on the board is the 12 of Corey Henry.
The number 8 Budweiser Chevrolet of Dana Osborne rolls out 16th. Shane McKeechin, Tony Fenn, 17th, 18th. Ray Rittenauer and Daniel Ferguson round out your top 20 with a 23.520.
21st on the board tonight will be the 83 of Ramon Evans. Larry Camp will start 22nd. 23rd goes to Mark Emery. Ryan Keese will start 24th. Jason Altman's the last one to take time in qualifying. Will start 25th, and the 26th truck of Rod Flagg will start 26th here tonight. Well, we got 100 laps. It's kind of, I guess it's probably, I would say that's probably the right amount of laps for a truck race here at Dover. But at the same time, those laps can go by quick. But at the same time, they can be a lot rough, and it really makes you work at this track, especially when you're in traffic. Trying to keep a handle on that truck. We said a couple spots to keep an eye on all night. We're definitely at the exits of turn 2 and number 4. We'll keep an eye on those as the field starts to roll onto the track to get this thing underway tonight. Roddcar Truck Tour here at Dover International Speedway, and Beth DeMerchant, our points leader, will start 3rd here tonight. And I like this track. It's tough to drive. I've driven here a few times, but I much more rather watch the races, Josh, than actually be in them at this track.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. One of my first races here on iRacing, that is, was here at the Dover Motor Speedway, and it just it wasn't very good. I spun out a couple times. We'll be waiting to see that there on the backstretch, and it is a monster mile. There is a reason for that, so expect to see some guys not have very good here tonight.
Well, that being said, the pace car will look to the safety of pit road. And that 88 truck of Mark Jorgensen Jr. will lead the field to the green flag here tonight. As he rolls through that starting box, the green flag will wave, and we're racing here at Dover.
Yeah, much better start there tonight for that 88 truck. I remember last week he was having some issues with that, getting drove around by Casey Malone on the outside. But tonight, off to a great start, leads everybody by about a car length off the going into turn 3. Christian Peterson able to get in line, Seth the Merchant. Everybody getting pretty much single file, trying to at least, as we're coming up on the first completed lap as Mark Jorgensen leads the first.
That he does. Pretty good battle going on there around Rodney Wofford. The 64 of Alex Halliner actually just got by him coming off of turn number 4. Now you can see Jared Haggerty all over the back bumper of that 7 truck there as they head back through 3 and 4. Rodney Wofford trying to hang on to that spot, and he's doing it right now on the bottom side of the racetrack. And so far, everybody's been able to sort things out and get single file, but the first double file battle a little further back, that's right around that number 12 truck, Corey Henry. He's on the outside. He's got Matt Quick to the inside, and it's a battle off turn 2.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, there are battles right back there for the next couple positions, and that's really hard on that bottom car, trying to hold that line without getting up into that outside truck and keeping momentum. It's really hard off each turn 2 and turn 4 to hold that momentum there. So as you see that outside getting it done right now, at least holding the position, but these guys will be able to run a couple more laps. Once those tires start to wear, though, are going to be interesting on these passes.
Yeah, Shane McKeechin there in the 28. Got into the wall off turn number 4, able to keep it up near there. Everyone able to get back around him. He's going to lose a few spots there, about 3 or 4 to be exact as they run right now. Up front still, Mark Jorgensen leading the way. Starting to pull away a little bit, about 4/10 now over Christian Peterson. His top 3 now have spread out quite a bit. That's something that we see here. As the tires wear in, though, we'll start to see the comers and the goers, the guys who are saving that right front tire, as opposed to the guys that are really driving that thing off of these corners here in the early going. Pretty good battle just behind these guys. That's right around Kyle Manger in the 99. He's leading a pack of about 4 trucks right now as they exit turn number 4, and that's a pretty good battle.
Yeah, those four are pretty close together. Those three out front, DeMerchant, Peterson, and Jorgensen, have definitely extended their lead well beyond that. But those four right behind them, excuse me, with this fixed setup, a lot of guys are able to stay right together, and this is the case of it right now. These four trucks are definitely running about the same thing. You see Frank Busiala in there, Greg Hooks, Kyle Manger, and most of those guys are having pretty much right on each other right now. Doesn't seem like they're pulling away or anything, but a great battle there.
Yeah, it is a great battle, and you talk about this racetrack. It's one of those ones where we talk about rhythm, I guess, rhythm racetracks, ones that you get in that rhythm of the engine noise, and you hear it a lot when you go to a place like Martinsville or even a Bristol. Well, the same goes true for this track, even though it's a lot longer of a racetrack than those. It doubles the size of them. But it's still one of those tracks that you have to feather that throttle from center off on the corners, and you start listening to it lap after lap after lap, and that's when these guys will do that. Battle side by side, though, off of turn number 4. That's Alex Hallinar on the inside of Greg Hooks. Right now they do battle for that 6th position. They continue to do it side by side. Looks like Alex Hallinar will have the advantage off of turn number 2.
As you see, they complete that pass, though. That gapped out so far. Oh, a little trouble there for Hallinar. Greg Hooks trying to complete the crossover, but, Plies is up and's like, oh, he's a little faster. I'll let him go. But that gap between the 64 now and the 94 is almost 5 car lengths just on that pass. It's really hard to pass, like I was saying. If you're that bottom car, you just can't keep up that momentum, and allows everybody else to either gain on you or get passes. It looks like the 94 of Busiala goes ahead and passes Manger up there just in front of those guys for the 4th position.
Yeah, and see, Manger did it right there. In my opinion, just a guy got the advantage in the bottom, just let him go, get back in line, and get back to racing. The harder you race side by side here, especially in the early going, as we're only on lap number 12, it will start to eat up your tires, and at the same time, it'll start to lose a lot of speed on the racetrack, and you'll see guys catch up to you, like we see Alex Hallinar now to the back bumper of these guys. Once he got around, Greg Hooks came real close, had to let off of the wall a couple laps ago. That's what caused the separation between him and Greg Hooks, but you can see that 94 been on the 64, excuse me, he's been on the move. Been able to catch these top 2, trying to get a couple more spots here before we even think about getting into some pit stops here. He's trying to get himself into the top 5 right now off turn number 4. Down the front stretch, pretty good battle right now for that 4th spot.
Yeah, maintaining a great pace so far. We're already working lap 14. Compared to the last couple weeks at Bristol and Martinsville, we had a couple cautions by this point. So these guys definitely ticking off some quick laps right now under the 24-second mark. This might be a pretty quick race tonight, but so far, as you said, no issues really around the track. But these guys are definitely battling hard. As you see, Hallinar, he's using up his stuff right now. I'm not sure if we get a long run here, if he'll be falling to the back, but he's definitely trying to get around that 99 of Kyle Manger right now. Oh, and Manger looks to the bottom under Frank Busiala. We just saw this happen a couple laps ago the other way. Frank doesn't give up as easy, though. He stays side by side. Oh, contact with Hallinar, and Frank expressing his opinion there on the chat, but just wasn't really necessary, I think, is what Frank was trying to say.
Yeah, I think he was trying to let up to let the 99 by, and I don't think Hallinar was ready for it. That's all that was right there. I think Busiala was just trying to give him room and let up coming off the corner, maybe feeling a little tight right there, but the 64 definitely wasn't ready for it, so a little bit of an indentation in the back bumper there. Shouldn't affect them too much, shouldn't affect either one of them here too much in this one, and they've able to sort it out now, but all that battling they do, that allowed the 98 to come back into the picture. Greg Hooks, who had fallen off just a bit, he is able to come back into the picture and join this battle right now as Kyle Manger looks to separate himself now from the rest of those guys. He's comfortably in that 4th spot, and up front, well, not much has changed. Christian Peterson still trying to chase down Mark Jorgensen in that 88 truck, and it's been about 3 or 4 tenths over the last few laps, but it's actually starting to close in just a bit right now as they cross the start-finish line right there. They'll gain another tenth. That 71 truck is starting to get a little quicker there, maybe as these tires start to wear off, and as our leaders start to hit their way through lap traffic now. The first one there, that's the 33 of Larry Camp. He will go down a lap to our leaders, and leaders continue now off of turn number 4, and that gap continues to close lap after lap.
And you take a look at their entries right now. You see Mark Jorgensen, he's entering a lot lower than that 71 of Christian Peterson. I think that's part of the cause. He's using up a little bit more of those tires than Peterson is. You see him entering higher here in 3 as well. He's saving those tires, letting it coast in the corner, whereas Jorgensen's probably getting on the brake a little bit harder, using up that tire. And over the course of this run, Peterson should easily be able to pass him if they stay in that exact way around the track. If Jorgensen doesn't realize he needs to move up and save some tires, that 71's going to pass him and take off.
Yeah, he will, and we saw Christian Peterson get the job done at Bristol, and I usually like to refer to this place as Bristol on steroids, so not surprised to see that 71 truck be pretty quick here this evening. These guys continue to battle for that lead, but they continue to stretch out away from third place Seth the Merchant. He sits right now at 1.7, almost 2 seconds off of the race lead right now, so he's probably hoping that these guys battle side by side here so he can try to close that gap just a bit, but for the time being, it seems like everything has settled out, at least for the time being, between these top 2 guys. And you look out through all the field right now, and closest thing we got on track is Jared Haggerty. He's side by side now with that 24. It looks like Ryan Keese, who had been off the track, now back on, so that fresh tires obviously has given him the advantage as he's been able to work his way around these guys, trying to get a lap back. Right now, currently sits 8 laps down. Had some truck issues here early on in this one, so it's good to see that he's back out on the racetrack. Just finds himself in a deep hole here early on. And we talk about that battle that was going on, Jared Haggerty and Rodney Wofford. Well, Wofford's now taken off, and he's up now to that 8th spot now, and he's actually coming real quick because he's caught that 98 truck of Greg Hooks, and it was not too long ago. He was a couple seconds off of these guys, so that 7 truck really coming alive here late in the run as well.
Yeah, we're definitely, as you take a look on board with him, he's probably was back there saving those tires, really was just trying to bide his time. You know, it's a 100-lap race. We're about a quarter of the way through as we take this next lap, but he's only 5.1 seconds behind. That's not so bad. You figure if you're about to go a lap down, you're around 24 to 25 seconds back. That usually takes what's a normal lap here around the track. Is up front, you see Mark Jorgensen closing in on most of the lap cars. The 78 of Tony Fenn is the next victim for him, but got a couple cars in that next group that may make it a little bit interesting to see if Christian Peterson can get around. But like you said, that 7 of Rodney Wofford, it actually is the quickest on the track right now. He is closing on our leaders, not by much, but he is definitely closing on them, so we'll wait to see. Hopefully that strategy pays off for him the rest of the race. And we got our first caution of the night. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but we'll take a look.
Yeah.
Larry Camp.
Yeah, the 33 truck having problems coming off of turn number 4, and get that replay up to you in just one moment, but one of those places, it's definitely a self-spin there off of turn number 4, and he had already found himself a lap down, got into the wall off turn 4, a little tight for him, kind of a lazy spin after he hit that inside wall, but this track is so narrow that once you get spun around like that, the caution will come out, and going to find himself a couple laps down. Well, this is our first opportunity under caution now for our leaders. They passed that quarter distance mark, and they're working right now. You're going to see these guys now come down pit road, and it's a good opportunity for them here, obviously, to get fresh tires, get fuel, and get back out there. And the race off pit road is going to be key too, because it means a lot of track position. But I think at this point, you're not going to see anybody 28 laps into a run here try anything fancy with 2 tires.
No, we don't want to see any 2 tires here. They'll be spinning a lot of times here coming off that turn. If you're getting on the gas of these shorter tracks, you're going to have a lot of tire spin if you go with 2 tires. So hopefully most of these guys take 4 tires. That's at least know what's best for them. And you see the right sides going on all these trucks right now. It should be an interesting race off. Didn't look like anybody got too much position on each other in pit road, but that 87 of Ray Rittenauer just rolled through the pits, as I heard. The 32 able to beat out the 71, a little bit slower, but that 88 of Jorgensen still able to hold first position off of pit road, Indy.
Yeah, and the biggest loser on that pit stop right there, Christian Peterson. Like he's going to lose a few spots there. It looks like he spent on exit there trying to keep that second position. It's going to put him back of the pack on this restart, and that's definitely not what that 71 needed or wanted this early in the race. But for the rest of the field, that gives Seth the Merchant some more opportunity now to maybe get this lead away. But that 88 truck's been very stout here since the beginning of this race, and it'll be fun to see if he can be able to hold off that 32 truck on this restart.
Yeah, honestly, his only challenger through that first 25 laps, 26 laps of green flag was that 71. He was pulling away from the 32. We did mention Rodney Wofford was gaining on him, but he was still 5 seconds back from the beginning of the race, and he started only P8, 1 position behind himself now. So be interesting to see if that 32 is able to keep up with that 88. Maybe just having the competition of first place will keep him up there. But if not, Jorgensen could pull away here and make it kind of uninteresting.
That he could, but you never can rule out that 32 machine has set the Merchant, our points leader, with a commanding lead on the points here after 7 weeks in the Roddcar Truck Tour this season. It's been a dominating one. 2 wins on the season, 5 top 5s in the 7 starts that he's had. Pretty consistent and dominating season so far for that 32 machine and his team. They've all been very good. Pretty much at every racetrack we've gone to, dominating places like Darlington. Saw that 32 truck dominate Darlington all race long a few weeks ago, and we've seen the 71 dominate Bristol there a couple weeks ago. So those guys definitely know how to get it done, and it's good to see them having some good seasons like they have. And of course, Seth the Merchant coming off his Cup championship there just a couple months ago. So the field's going to get doubled up here as they cross the start-finish line, and we've completed 30 laps. We'll have 69 laps left to go when they cross the start-finish line and take the green flag. And so far, it's been I wouldn't say uneventful race, but it's been very quiet.
Yeah, very quiet, and self-spin, really. That we had a couple people, bumping into each other, pushing people out of the way, sliding up into the wall on accident, but really, that's mostly it tonight. Your biggest mover is Rod Flag to start last place in 26, up 10 positions to 16th. But everybody else, only back a couple here, forward a couple here. Very hard track to pass. So it'll be interesting to see. Christian Peterson's going to come back 19th is where he's going to restart on this caution. It's going to be a hard tail for him to get through all these trucks and get back to the front. But we'll see if he can get it done.
Well, if anyone can do it, I'm sure it is that driver of the 71. The pace car now to the safety of pit road. Once again, we'll get our first restart of the night underway here as the field comes off of turn number 4. They look for the green flag, and Mark Jorgensen Jr. now will take that green flag, and he leads the field back underway here at Dover. They head back to turn number 1. He didn't get away this time here as the 32 hanging on as much as he can. He's able to drop to the bottom on the exit of turn 2. Top 3, they're single file. It's side-by-side for 4th.
Yeah, you're right. Didn't get a good jump there, but he still was able to pull off the lead. The bottom side, definitely the advantage there on the green flag. As you saw, 32 easily able to step down into 3rd place. 94 now clears as well and gets back to the bottom. Single file through the top 8 positions. Got a little bit of challenge on back behind that. Looks like Brandon Cherburko, Corey Henry. They're now side-by-side. Cherburko clears, but that's your closest battle up in the front.
Well, we got a side-by-side now moving up in there. Casey Malone in that 52. He's trying to get away from Rodney Wofford. He completes that pass through 3 and 4. Move that 52 up 1 more spot. That puts him now in 6th as they race their way off of turn number 2 for side-by-side battle. It's short-lived now as Corey Henry finally clears Jared Haggerty in that 23 machine. That was the battle for that 10th spot, and give it to that 12 truck. They're all single file now off of turn number 4. A lot of squirrely trucks there on the exit of the corner there, even with fresh tires. Turns 2 and 4 can definitely be a handful.
Yeah, well, you definitely know. They're trying to get all they can right now. They realize under that last long green flag that not too much passing going on after the restart. So getting as much as you can. I'm sure they were, easing on it the last restart. Now definitely trying to stay right up with everybody. Chaburko looking low there, that 98. But I tell you what, Alex Halinar all over the back of that 94 of Frank Busiella. He's definitely faster than him, as you see the gap growing between third and fourth. Now as Halinar gets to the bottom, Frank would be wise to just let him go at this point, this early in the run. But he does not. He holds that outside, as again that outside holds strength off of turn 4.
That's a veteran right there. He says, I don't think so. I'll keep this spot for now. Let me just get in my groove here. And that's exactly what he did there on the outside. Kept the momentum up, and momentum is huge with these trucks. We see it week in and week out. It doesn't matter what track that we are, but behind these guys as well, as these guys race pretty hard. We got a pretty good battle right now, the 12. Look at Corey Henry now. Drop to the inside, and he's looking to the inside of Chaburko, who has to go up to the outside. Chaburko won't give too much slack here off the corner of turn number 2. And going to continue to run side by side now as they look for Greg Hooks right in front of him. Corey Henry just can't quite get up to his back bumper at the time being, and they'll continue to battle for that position. Henry, give it to him there. Now he looks to the inside of Greg Hooks in the 98, and another good battle. So that 12 truck making some noise here early on in this restart.
Yeah, that 3 is trying to look under that 98 as well. Thinks other of it, but there's the 23 to go under the 3 of Jared Haggerty, under Brandon Chaburko. You just got to watch out for that. If you're looking up as he clears them off of 4 almost, it looks like it's going to get it done, but got to watch that as the 52 of Casey Malone dives under Alex Halinar. I think he was pushing a little too hard on that restart, Andy. Definitely used up some tires. Oh, we got a really close one, almost 3 wide with Rodney Wofford, Corey Henry. They thought better of it, but Halinar now stuck on the outside, might lose a couple spots.
That's one of those places when you're on that outside, you could lose a bunch of spots. Look at all this action going on behind these guys right now as Casey Malone cannot get around that 64 machine. He'll give it another shot here off of turn number 2. That was close right there. He just slid up and took that nose right off of that truck. That leaves the bottom side open for that 7 machine. And here comes Rodney Wofford now looking to take another spot away from Alex Halinar as they work side by side off of turn number 4 and back into turn number 1. And look at Corey Henry in that 2. Giving that 7 a shot there into the corner, saying, let's go, man. We got to go.
Yeah, they're bumping all go around. 98 bumped into the 12. Now the 23 bumped into him. Now the 3's under the 23. Everybody's hitting everybody trying to get around. But it looks like 7's going to pull off that pass on Halinar. Now the 12 looks under. Nope, doesn't have enough speed right now to get there. But I'm telling you, getting on the outside. Oh, we got contact. The 23-98. Both save it for now. 23 going around. Oh, did he save it? No, there it is. Caution to the 71. Oh, no. The Christian Peterson unable to get back through the field and took out himself. Ramon Evans, that looks like a blown engine, Andy.
Yeah, and he's taking the virtual tow to pit road, so lots of action right there on that last lap there off a turn, or through turns 1 and 2. The 23 got into Greg Hooks in that 98 and got those two loose. The 98 was able to hang on to it, though, but Haggerty ended up hitting the apron, came back up the racetrack, and when he did, he came back down into traffic. And when you see about 6-7 trucks get involved in that one, and heavy damage to a bunch of those guys here, and we're just shy of that halfway point. So a tough breaker, obviously, for that 71 of Christian Peterson. But that shows you exactly a mistake on pit road cost you the race.
Yeah, and unfortunately 6 trucks involved in that one. Got to run down Dana Osborne. Yeah, Shane McKeechin, Jared Haggerty, Ryan Keith, the 83 of Ramona Evans, and that 71 of Christian Peterson, all involved in that. Most of them on pit road right now, trying to get those virtual tows done. But we're looking as the leaders come down pit road towards their pit stall. Hopefully nobody speeds again and has to fall like Christian Peterson.
Yeah, it's a tough. We talked about it earlier. 35 miles an hour on pit road. It's tough, man. When you're out there on that racetrack doing 160, 170 miles an hour, and then you get on the pit road, it just seems like you're almost crawling off the racetrack. So looks like a couple guys maybe trying some two-tire action there. Pretty good battle off of pit road. Looks like the 88's going to hang on to it, though. But look at Matt Quick jumping up to the 3rd spot with a two-tire stop for him. He's going to have to be careful on the restart. It gets real slippery on this concrete surface here when they get to do that. But we're going to step aside for a moment, take a break of our own as we approach the halfway point. You're watching a Roddcar truck tour at Dover International Speedway right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing. Welcome you back here to Dover International Speedway for the Roddcar Truck Tour. And we are getting set to get our second restart of the race. And I'd like to welcome everybody who's tuning in on iRacing Live and, of course, on LSRTV. Pace car now looks to the safety of pit road. And, again, the 88 truck looking to lead the field back to the green flag. I would say he's led every single lap, but that would be untrue because a couple of laps under the caution flag, Ray Rittenauer was able to lead a few, and the green flag is back in the air, and a pretty good restart on that outside line. The 32 of Seth the Merchant, he's trying to get something out of it, and you can see that 89 with two tires on that bottom side. Kind of a sketchy restart there. He's going to slow up that bottom side, and it allows three guys now to get out in front of him, and you see Frank Musilia now up to that 3rd spot. Good run for him here early on.
Yeah, but if that 89 of Quick can hold that position for now, just with those two tires, that is definitely a good gamble. You know, on that restart, really only lost one position, but that 88 still strong on the bottom, able to pull right out in front. Hasn't looked back yet. He's almost pulled out to a truck length lead over Seth the Merchant, but they're both pulling away from Frank. They're, 4 or 5 truck lengths at least away. That 89 holding strong, though, so far.
Yeah, he is, and like I said, run about 10, 15 laps. If you can lose a couple positions, I think we would call it a win if the caution came out at that point, because everyone else would be back down pit road once again, and he can get back on to sequence with the tires. But from that Quick, good call so far here now as he runs in the 4th spot as this time by. Across the halfway point of this race, 50 down and 50 to go. Going to take a look at the LSR TV full field rundown here. Mark Jorgensen, he is your leader. Seth the Merchant currently in that second spot. Frank Busiel sits third. Fourth goes to Matt Quick. Running fifth is that 52 of Casey Malone. Sixth is Rodney Wofford. Brandon Chaburko up to seventh. Eighth is Greg Hooks. Corey Henry runs ninth. And Alex Hallinar rounds out the top 10.
Looks like change of position on track just then. Kyle Manger takes over 11th position. Kent Connolly runs 12th. Brandon Monsivice, my favorite name to say, runs 13th. 14th, Tony Fenn. Daniel Ferguson runs 15th. Ray Rittenauer, 16th. 17th, Jared Haggerty, involved in that last wreck, a little bit behind now. Dana Osborne, one of those as well, running 18th further back. First car lap down, Rod Flagg sits 19th. And rounding out your top 20 is Mark Emery, one lap down.
5 laps down in the 21st spot. That is Larry Camp, who brought out our first caution on the night. Shane McEachin sits 22nd. 23rd goes to Christian Peterson. 24th is Ramon Evans. Ryan Keese sits 25th. Jason Altman's in that 51 truck. 49 laps down. He is 26th place right now. Top 2 have pulled away, but that battle for third is heating up as they enter turn number 3.
Yeah, that definitely is, and looks like Quick's losing a little bit of time now. That 52 unable to get under him, just not able to hold it down, unfortunately, there for that 89 of Matt Quick, and it looks like he's steadily holding up people. Rodney Wofford right on his bumper now, probably is going to make the pass here shortly.
Yeah, he is, and there's a whole line of trucks right behind that 89 machine right now as they run back into turn number 3, and I would say he's done a really good job with the 2 tires. This is a racetrack that your truck can get loose off the corners, and with 2 tires, that typically makes it that much more worse, but he's doing a great job right now. It's just behind these guys. Brandon Chaburko trying to take over that 6th spot from Rodney Wofford. He was unable to do it right there, and they head back down into turn number 3, and those 2 continue to run nose to tail as everybody, for the most part, through the field is all single file, and again, it's pretty quiet. Here goes Chaburko, though. He makes the move at this point right behind him. Corey Henry makes a move as well to the inside. You got Chaburko almost pushing up into that 7 machine. He's going to clear him now before they exit turn number 2. Rodney Wofford looking for that crossover, but he chooses not to. This time in turn number 3, they go single file.
Yeah, that 12 right up on the back of that 7 of Rodney Wofford. Now to the inside, trying to get there. He's got the inside. No, he doesn't. 7 cuts off his front end. That's pushing up the 98 behind him. 99 now under the 90. Oh, contact, and then 98 goes around. Oh, boy. That's a big crash right there. Looks like that 088 Kent Connolly, 35 of Monsivice also in it. Unfortunately, that's going to bring our second caution, and that was, sorry, I was just looking at the replay, and Rod Flagg really had a hard hit there. And unfortunately, a lot of injured trucks now and a couple injuries. You'll see the onboard of the 98 for the replay. Andy, that was definitely interesting.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of contact, and it doesn't take much. Just start spinning into the corner, and of course how narrow this track is and how quickly these trucks come up on each other. Not surprised to see more involved in there, and hopefully we don't have to life flight out the driver of that number 26, and Rod Flagg will be able to get out of that truck and walk on his own after that hit. That was a pretty extensive one. Pit road open once again, and no surprise at all. Here come your leaders. Now this time around, Josh, I think we might have more people maybe try that 2-tire gamble here, since we only were under the green flag for about 10 laps.
Yeah, and really Matt Quick only lost 2 positions, even though there was a bit of contact, a bit of truffle there. He is in 5th, so he's able to take 4 tires down, depending on how many take 2. That was a pretty decent move. You know, we still got 40 laps to go, though. If we go green, that might be a bad move, but we'll see here, as I expect to see most of the leaders at least take 4, but it's going to be interesting. Looking on pit road right now, still the same. The 52 is the first one down pit road. Looks like most of everybody took 4 tires, Andy.
Yeah, it does. Pretty good battle for that second spot. The 88, too good for everybody on pit road here so far tonight. He beats Mel off pit road once again, but look at that 52. Casey Malone now up to that second spot. He started 12th on the night, so a pretty steady climb towards the top of the leaderboard. And right now he's going to find himself restarting on the outside of the front row when we get this thing underway. We talk about these races, kind of the first season. This is season number 2 for the trucks here at the Roddcar Truck Tour, and we talk about the first season was a lot of mile and a halves. It seemed every week we were either a mile and a half. It was a inaugural season, so it was kind of a feeling out point getting these guys in here. It was also open setups. We turn around to season 2. There's no resets. It's fixed setups. And now you throw in all these crazy tracks. We have done The Rock, we've done Darlington, Bristol, Martinsville. Now we're here at Dover. So a good mix of tracks for all these drivers, and excited to see it. And with them obviously supposed to having this week off, they have next week off instead, as the IROC Tour will be back in action at the at Daytona next week in the 07, the Circa 07 track. So a little flashback, and of course the main event next week with the WWE Throwback Week. Next week, the WWE stars will be painted all over these cars, and be a lot of fun. A lot of fun next week, seeing a lot of the old-time themes and pictures of wrestlers on these guys' cars next week.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. I know a lot of these guys. I know Jorgensen up there in front is going to be in the Rock Chevy at least. So it's definitely going to be interesting. Yeah, at the Rock here at the Rock. That would have been cool if we did it here, but no. Next week it'll definitely be fun in that throwback at Daytona 07. One of the bumpiest tracks on iRacing, I think. And it's definitely harder to handle for sure. If you haven't tried it, definitely go check it out. It's something interesting to see, but definitely going to see. It looks like we're about to get lined up, one to go, and yeah, Andy, I just forgot. IROC next week will actually have no restrictor plates. The Sim is going to do an update where they're going to be gone, so it's going to be interesting, I'm sure, to see us out there. I might be a little nervous now.
Yeah, that's when I saw that was coming up on the build, I went, "Oh my gosh!" On that update, I said, "You're seriously gonna?" I don't know if they're, if iRacing's trying something maybe to get people to drive those cars more again, or what's really going on. But man, to see those COT cars back with no restrictor plates at Daytona, the bumpy Daytona, the old track, it's going to be quite the action to see. I think coming up next week, and I hope everybody tunes in again there on Friday night for our doubleheader, and the second half of our doubleheader. Will be, of course, the WWE stars, but that first half, the IROC, it's going to be race number 2 of 4 for those guys, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch here. And for the third time now, the pace car is going to head down pit road, and we'll get our third restart. A different player on the outside there, the 52 of Casey Malone. Got a couple wins now this season and his rookie season, and he's going to look to try to take that lead from the outside. Nobody has done it yet. Green flag in the air. Goes that 88 now to the bottom in turn number 1. Got a mirror full set to Merchant now as they race their way through 1 and 2. And off of turn number 2 now, it looks like Casey Malone in danger of losing that second spot, but he's going to battle hard on the outside.
Yeah, and definitely, I was actually worried for Jorgensen last week. Every time that 52 Malone was on his outside, he pulled away from him on the restart. Malone did. And this time, though, Jorgensen gets the better of it. Got a heated battle back there for like 5 seconds. Oh, contact the 7, the 99. They're able to save it. The 7 saves it. Nope, never mind. They do not save it. And another big caution here. Unfortunately, just lots of hard racing. The 3 involved, the 088 again, the 7. Oh man, a lot of little bit of accidents, but definitely a lot of cars going to walk away hurt on that one.
Yeah, it looked like the 89 maybe checked up a little bit more than the 7 was ready for. When they went down into turn number 1, a little bit of contact in 99 gets into the back of Wofford. I thought he had it saved there, and then he came off of turn number 2 and flat out lost it. Spun right around from him. A couple more trucks involved in that one. Corey Henry as well, and a whole bunch of other guys. Looks like Larry Camp involved as well. So that truck's been taking a beating all night long, and he'll get that thing righted. The 7 doesn't look too bad. He's got some damage on that front end, a little bit on the rear. But it looks like he'll be able to continue on, but he's going to have to do it all the way through the field this time. Fake outs on pit road. Lots of action down there in the pit entrance.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. There's a lot of people that missed that cone. They actually went under it, and I'm not sure if they're going to get a penalty for that. Jorgensen able to fake everybody out right before going in. that cone, the 32 and 52, both were under it and then changed their minds. So also the 3 at Cheburko. I'm not real sure if they're going to get a penalty, but at most tracks that would be a end of the line penalty. It should be interesting to see here if that happens. But it looked like everybody was following Jorgensen, and then he was like, nope, not going.
Yeah, I think the actual, they call that the commitment cone, but I don't think the commitment cone can give him a penalty. I'm not sure. I think everyone would be screaming on the radio right now because I think it would already gave him a black flag, but I think that the yellow cone is the one they got to watch, is where they get down their speed, but that's already inside of the pit wall. So at that point, when they get to that one, those guys obviously wouldn't have been able to turn up the racetrack. So I think they're all right. I think they might be okay. It was close, though, but like you said, I think in NASCAR itself, I think they would have gotten a penalty for that one there. But in iRacing, I don't think that first cone really does anything. I don't even see it on the racetrack anymore. So somebody has hit it and put it somewhere. But we're going to get underway. 66 are going to be complete this time by, and that'll give us 34 laps left to go in this event. Approaching the end now. We've gotten a couple cautions here through the course of the midway point of this race, our fourth one on the evening right now that we're sitting under right now. And it's been a pretty quiet race, a clean race up until about that halfway point. We've had a couple pretty decent accidents with about 5-6 trucks involved in them, and at this point, a lot of them start falling out of the race right now, and we got 16 still on the lead lap, so about half the field is already almost gone from this one, at least on the lead lap in contention, and that's something you see when you come to a place like this, but I expect the intensity to continue to ramp up here as we close the laps down, because the last 30 or so laps will go by pretty quick.
Yeah, and I tell you what, right now, Sesta Merchant once again looking at a great point snack. Closest to him, Christian Peterson sits 23rd out of the race. And that's almost 21 spots, so at least 21 points tonight. Sesta Merchant, at least at this point, is going to gain on second place and his championship lead. So, he might not be going for that win and might not have enough, but he is definitely going to extend that points lead tonight, looking to become the first person to win both championships here on the Roddcar series, that between the Truck Tour and iSuper Speedway. Something that's very hard to do. So we'll see if he's able to do that.
With the competition level, I would say that's hard to do, and not to mention he just won the Cup Championship at the end of 2015, so he's just keeping that momentum going right now into this truck season. So, and he was no slouch in that first season in the trucks area. He almost pulled off that win as well, and that would have been pretty cool for him. He'd be going for his second one right now, but Josh Hanner was able to squeak that one out after all the drops happened there at the end of the season, and it was a close one there for that as well. But that said, the field getting jumbled up back again as they go down the back straightaway and come around a complete lap 68 on the green flag, and that'll leave us 32 to go here tonight at Dover. So far, it's been that 88 machine of Mark Jorgensen Jr. up front. Led just about every single lap there has been to be here in this race, and a little bit of checkup going on under caution. I don't know what that 3 truck was doing right there, but anyway, the pace car going to head down the pit road, and we're going to get this thing back into action now. The 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. looking to lead them back to the green flag once again here at Dover, and green flag will drop. Hits the gas pedal, and he's off and running. The 32 been right with him every single time he's been on the outside, and pretty good jump right there. Not going to be able to hang on to it, that bottom side. Just too tough on the restart. Casey Malone now to the inside of Seth the Merchant. That's the battle for second.
Yeah, I tell you what, somebody we haven't seen up there all night, that 3 of Brandon Cheburko looks to the inside of the 32 of Seth the Merchant for third place. Oh, gets into his rear end a little bit there. Was able to, thankfully, not cause any trouble. Oh, bottom out of it, 94 going around. Frank Busiala able to save it. Oh, able to save it there. 99 holding on to it. Nope. There he is. Goes around. Kyle Manger going to bring out your 5th caution, I think it is now, Andy. But that seems to be a problem. Problem right down there in turn 2. It looks like they're going to save it. and then they're just around. I don't
That
know.
whole thing started, if we look back on a replay, hopefully around the 89 truck, we'll see the 89 coming off turn number 4, making some contact right there on the front stretch with the 87 of Ray Rittenauer and those two guys getting in contact right there. And that just stacked the field up. They all started coming grouped together there as they had to turn number 1. And that's when it all went to hell in a handbasket right there. And it looked like the 99 of Carl Manger definitely took the brunt of all that right there. So another caution, another chance, opportunity to come down pit road. We're inside 30 laps to go here at this one. Do we see these leaders finally come down pit road for the final time? Another fake out. 32, though, Seth the Merchant. He's going to go down from that third spot.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure if that's going to be spelled good for those leaders or not good. Because there was only about 4 or 5 out there, and it's going to be interesting. But we'll see what everybody comes off pit road, how it goes, 2 tires, 4 tires.
That we will. 32 will have to come back through the field as a few guys stayed out up on the front end of the leaderboard. We'll check that all back when they get back to racing here in just a moment. We're going to step aside. You're watching the Roddcar Truck Tour, part of the first half of the LSRTV Friday night doubleheader right here on iRacing Live. We'll be back right after this. Well, welcome back here to Dover International Speedway. It's a Roddcar Truck Tour getting set to get this last quarter distance underway here off of the restart after our most recent caution flag. We'd like to welcome everybody tuning in on iRacing Live and LSRTV. Welcome to the conclusion of this race here as that 88 truck, Mark Jorgensen Jr., he's been the leader since the drop of the green flag, sat on the pole, and he's been that one guy that nobody's been able to beat all night long. And the green flag goes out once again. Look at that jump by the 52 of Malone. He's got a snooker him now on the outside, drops down to the bottom, takes over the race lead.
Wow, just another, it looked like a little bit of tire spin up there for the 88, but he's been the fastest. Oh, the 64 in the wall behind them off of turn 2. If that 88's going to get it done, he's going to have to get it done here. Definitely having a bunch up behind them. Whew, the 11, all those no tires are starting to cost them 32 already up to 4th.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Look at the 88 now up to the back bumper. He's going to try to make it a battle for that race lead off of turn number 2. He's caught him. He's right there. Look at the 3 of Chaburko. He's in the mix as well, along with our points leader, 32.
Oh, big wreck. Oh,
we got
man.
a big wreck off of down the back straightaway.
Oh, I don't know who it was. I just saw one truck flying right there. The 11 of Mark Emery, those no tires did not pay off. Got turned and just hammered the outside wall right there. And unfortunately, that's going to bring the caution out again. You're going to see the replay here. But that was a hard hit. Hard hit. And I think it was off that 78, possibly a Tony Fenn, and the 89 a Quick. But wow.
Yeah, that's a hard hit. This track, you know, for the speeds these guys run, it takes some hard hits into these walls, and it's very unforgiving as well. This is a tough racetrack, and that's another one. Obviously, he drove it back to pit road, but we'll have to make sure he doesn't get life flighted out of this place as well. Pit road's open. Well, look who decided to come down pit road. It's that 88 machine, Mark Jorgensen Jr. Finally decided I didn't have nothing for that 52. I better come down now. The problem is now he's running out of laps. It's going to be 23 to go as they cross the line right here under caution, and didn't look like many other drivers came down pit road with him as well, so he's going to have his work cut out for him running through the field to get back up to the front of this thing. And probably, I would say at this point in the race, that's probably not what he wanted to see out his rearview mirror.
No, and he should have came down a couple laps before that and probably went with everybody else. But now you got to come down and get 4 tires. You got to hope that this is going to be enough to get the win for you tonight. Corey Henry's going to be the first off pit road. He got 2 tires on that. Everybody else behind them got 4 tires. Jorgensen off second, but it's going to be a real battle now. Uphill battle for Jorgensen. He hasn't been back in traffic all night. But if anybody do it, that 88's been the fastest for sure here tonight on the pole, and pretty much fastest in qualifying as well. So we'll see if he can get it done. It looks like he might start 7th, 8th.
Yeah, we'll see this time by when they come across the stripe. It'll reset everything. Change in front of the field just a bit as well. The 99 of Kyle Manger, how about him? Making a rebound after being in a spin and an accident just about 15, 20 laps ago. He's now up to the 4th spot here on this restart, so a pretty good job by him. A good rebound for that 99 truck. Puts him back in contention for this one as well. But look at Brandon Chaburko from 14th to 2nd. And I wouldn't say it's come easy for him, but it's been kind of a slow progression up towards the front. Picking them off one at a time here, each and every restart and each and every time on pit road. So he's done it. He's kept the truck clean, and then, now he finds himself. And that's one guy on the outside. You're Casey Malone. You're going to want a good restart on this one. That's one truck out there that's not going to give you anything.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting now. We got a couple faces up there we haven't seen up there. And the 088, he's up there now, Kent Connell. We haven't seen him up in the beginning of the race, not up there. I think he was actually involved in a wreck, so good job recovery for him, sitting in, looks like it's going to be 5th place right now. So definitely good run for him. Those 2 Target Chevys, though, sitting on that 2nd row coming to this restart next time, and they're in a good position. Malone's in a good position. Chaburko's in a good position. I don't know, but those guys, Malone and Chaburko, do not have new tires. So they've been on old tires. So remember, the Merchant, I think, has 4. So he only ran a couple laps on that last run. It's going to be interesting to see if that 88 can get back up there.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how he can merge his way through traffic. You should be able to pick off a couple of them, I think, here on this restart. A couple of those guys been out there quite a long time. Probably the 89, the 088. You should see that 88 be able to pick a couple of them off pretty quickly here, but I think once he gets to those top 4 runners, it's going to be tough for him. Each spot's going to be that much more difficult to get around these guys here. Got the freshness of the tires, though, here with when they come to get the green flag. 20 laps to go here at Dover, so got 20 laps to get it done. And in my book, in my estimation, I think that's just not quite enough time for this racetrack to get it done. But if he can do it right here, I think that 32 is at a pretty good spot with the 4 fresh tires. Finds himself on the bottom, restarting in that 3rd position. 52, Casey Malone will lead the field back to the green flag this time as they work their way through turn number 3. The pace car, the lights are off, of course, as we're going to get back to racing here at Dover. The problem is the cautions might not be quite done as of yet here. It's go time for a lot of these guys, and they need to start moving up the ranks as they go. Pace car now to the safety of pit road. The American Ethanol green flag set to wave, and Casey Malone right there on the bottom side. The 3 truck with Brandon Chaburko on the outside, and the green flag is back in the air, and pretty good jump on the outside. Look at that 3 truck now nosing out to the front, not quite clear of the 32. They're going to battle now side by side through 1 and 2. Going to pinch him down to the bottom. Brandon Chaburko trying to get him off his game right now. They're going to continue that side-by-side battle back into turn 3.
Wow, that's the first time I've actually seen, big problems quick into the 88 of Jorgensen. That's not good. No caution. That's going to bring out significant addition. I'm not sure how that wasn't a caution, but now we definitely have a big mix-up in the field. The top 3 right nose to tail. That caution, I don't know why it didn't come out, but big battle up front. Malone, Chaburko, DeMerchant all over the back of that 3 of Brandon Chaburko. Just can't get it done. It's so hard to pass here, Andy.
Yeah, it absolutely is. You can see it right there. He's got the fresher tires of the front 3 of those guys right now, and for that 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. I'm still reeling about that one. That accident there, not a caution out there. Currently running in that 11th position right now, so his charge to the front, his opportunity to win, I think, is out the window right now. Top 3, though, across the start-finish line, complete 83 laps, 17 to go left here at Dover, and they make their way off turn 2. It's still a pretty good battle. They're right up against each other. Seth the Merchant now looking to the inside of that 3 truck. He's going to go. Not quite have him clear right there, and it's going to still be a single-file battle now off turn 4.
Yeah, and I'm surprised to see nobody using the bumper here quite yet. It's definitely coming down to the last couple of laps of this race, and about 15 to go. I expect those guys not to be as patient. If that 3 gets a good run or that 32 gets a good run, and they're definitely going to use that bumper, I think, to get around the 52 since it's so hard to pass. But that 3 right back on that bumper. Malone again, 32 coming as well.
That he is. Just Seth the Merchant, I think, trying any line, any different line that these front 2 are running, something different just to try to figure out what's going to give him the advantage here as they run. Still single file, top 3. They haven't changed since the start of this restart here a couple of laps ago, and they make their way off turn number 4 to complete lap number 16. Little squirrely right there for the 52 off turn number 4. Closes the gap quite a bit right there for that 3 truck. Unable to get anything done now. That closes the gap as well. Here comes Seth the Merchant out the inside. Makes a little contact with Chaburko. Gets him loose. Now drives to the inside. And they're going to battle side by side for that 2nd spot. Not giving each other any room right there, but Seth the Merchant's going to clear him off 4.
Honestly, the 52's looking back like, hell yeah, you guys keep racing. I'm pulling away now as he's got almost a whole half-second lead on Seth the Merchant. Actually, over that. Right from bumper to bumper now, over a half a second lead. That 3, I'm sure, is steaming in that truck, though. I'm sure he's not happy with that 32 of Seth the Merchant. He does have the newest tires, though. Unfortunately, he's got less time, coming to 11 to go, but he already gained a 10th there, Andy.
I thought that 3 truck was, I thought he was smoking a cigarette there with all that smoke coming out of that truck, but I think he was just a little mad, a little upset right there, but he's going to make his way. He's losing ground now to that 32. I think Seth the Merchant was faster when he was just trying to find that opportunity, and he was there. He left a little bit of that bottom side open, and Seth the Merchant tried to take advantage of it. He was there, and they made a little contact. I mean, listen, Rubbin's racing. You can see that gap closing, though, on that race lead. That 32, he's coming in a hurry. Casey Malone's going to have his hands full here in just a moment as they work their way off of turn number 4 to the line. 10 laps to go here at Dover.
Yeah, I think that 52 is using too much tire right now. I think he needs to move up. Seth the Merchant running that second line, really saving those tires. And he doesn't even need to, but if he can get close to him, the more tire he has to make that pass is going to be the big thing. Obviously, we're seeing that he is not afraid to use that bumper on that front of that truck. And he is getting closer and closer each lap. A little squirrely off of turn 4 there, but he is closing in on the leader, Casey Malone, here with about 8 laps to go.
Yeah, it'll be 8 laps to go this time by. They work their way down the back straightaway, though. That gap closing even more. Quarter of a truck length, we'll call it there, as they enter turn number 3. Seth the Merchant trying to figure out which line's going to give him the advantage and give him the opportunity for his 3rd win of the season. Look at that 52, having trouble coming off of turn number 4. That's going to close the gap even more as they go through 1 and 2. And Seth the Merchant, he's there. He's looking for a run as they come off of turn 2. He's going to look to the bottom. He's got a fender there. They're going to race side by side for the lead.
Yeah, he's going to pinch him down there. That's his really only hope right now, is if Malone could stay as possible, and he does, and he holds the lead. I told you that is the hardest thing to do, pass on the bottom as we're coming to 6 laps to go. This lap, working lap 94. The Merchant thought he had enough there, but just couldn't get it done. Still right on that back bumper.
Yeah, he's definitely a faster truck, but man, that outside lane worked for Casey Malone off of turn number 4, and he was able to just hammer that thing down and hope it stuck, and it stuck right there for him at that point. He holds off the charge, at least for the time being right now. 6 laps to go. They head back to turn 1 and 2, push it up the racetrack just a bit. A little bit of contact maybe with the 32 there on the back bumper. Makes that 52 wiggle just a bit as they continue to battle hard now off of turn number 4. These two guys going at it now. 5 to go here at exit 4.
Yeah, they're side by side. Oh no! Oh, gave him the bumper. Oh, able to hold on to it though. Malone, just like last week, anticipating that bumper and able to hold on to it. Actually lost a little bit. Sorry, Seth the Merchant lost a little bit to him. Almost a truck length now. Only 4 laps to go. Coming to the flag now.
Yeah, and while these guys are battling hard like they are, here comes that 3 truck trying to get back into the mix as well. Lap traffic as well up on the high side. That's Larry Camp in the 33. He's going to be right there in the mix of this too as they exit turn number 2. And it looks like he might stay to the high side, give the bottom side now to our race leaders as they continue about a truck length apart through 3 and 4. They'll exit turn number 4 and get the 3 to go now as they cross the line.
I think Seth the Merchant is going to have one more try. One more try if he can hold it. He's trying to save a little bit of tires there. He's a little bit loose. He might have used up all his stuff, but I think if he holds back another a lap maybe, I think he's got one more shot at that 52. If not, what a great drive by Casey Malone.
Yeah, Casey Malone looking for his 3rd win on the season as well as they exit turn number 4. They'll get 2 to go. Popsicle sticks in the air now as they head back into turn number 1. Still a pretty good battle. They're starting to pull away again, though, from that 3 truck. 1 car length advantage now off of turn number 2 for the race lead.
He's digging the 32 in the wall. 52 taps the wall a little bit down to a half a car length. Coming to the final lap. White flag is out. Seth the Merchant gets a great run off of 4. It's going to be a great last lap. Blocking to the bottom.
Wow, Casey Malone blocking the bottom side right there off of turn number 4. They make some more contact through 1 and 2. It's not over now. Exit turn number 2. Here they come. Fakes to the bottom. Goes to the high side. Seth the Merchant now on the high side. Looking for anything he can. Gives him another bump into turn number 3. But off of turn number 4, Casey Malone will get his 3rd victory of the season. He's a winner at Dover.
Wow, that was awesome. Lots of beating and banging. That was a great finish. The 3 was right there as well, probably looking to try to get up there as best as possible. But Casey Malone, 3rd win on the season. What a great finish.
Oh, that was awesome to see by those 2 guys. Well-deserved win, well-deserved 2nd place as well for Seth the Merchant. But congratulations again. The 3rd time for the rookie in this series in the Roddcar Truck Tour, Casey Malone. He finds his way to victory lane. This time, it's at the Monster Mile at Dover International Speedway. With that said, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to our top 3 finishers, and we'll get you set up for the iSuper Speedway Series race coming up at 10 p.m. Stay tuned. You're watching the Roddcar Truck Tour right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing. Welcome you back here to Dover International Speedway. We just concluded the Roddcar Truck Tour race, 100 laps. And it was won, of course, by Casey Malone. We'll take you through a full field rundown. Casey Malone getting a big win, his second in a row after winning last weekend at Martinsville Speedway. He backs it up for his third win on the season. Points leader Seth the Merchant maintains that points lead. Gains some more on some guys right now, but he runs in second here tonight. Third goes to that 3 truck of Brandon Traverco. Frank Brusilia will finish in the 4th spot. 5th goes to Kyle Manger. Rodney Wofford finishes 6th. 7th goes to Kent Connolly. Mark Jorgensen Jr. rebounds after that spin there towards the end of the race. He finishes 8th. 9th goes to Alex Hallinar. And Ray Ritnar rounds out the top 10.
Brandon Monsivice finishes P11 tonight. Last car in the lead up, Jared Haggerty finishes 19 seconds fast, finishes 12th. A couple of guys, 2 and 3 laps down. Corey Henry, Larry Camp, Matt Quick. Tony Fenn rounds out the top 16. 17th, Mark Emery, 25 laps down. 18th, Daniel Ferguson. 19th, Greg Hooks. Rod Flagg, 44 laps down in P20.
Expired from the race here tonight, 21st, was the 8 of Dana Osborne. Ramon Evans finishes 22nd. 23rd goes to Shane McEachin. Christian Peterson finishes 24th. 25th goes to Ryan Keese, and Jason Altmans will round out this 26 truck field. Well, I'm down here in Victory Lane, and quite an awesome win for that 52 machine. In as many weeks as third on the season, and Casey Malone, what an awesome race there at the end. Talk about your battle with Seth the Merchant there in the closing laps.
That was amazing. I think he had tires a stop previous, and I was just trying to hang on, and I guess he got tied out of 4 with five to go or so, and it took him a few laps for his tires to cool down, but he made a run right there at the end. And to be honest, I'm amazed I held on. I was really expecting him to get around me.
Yeah, seesawing out that wheel. When somebody gets into the back of you on the entrance of the corner, especially here at Dover, makes it for some fun times going through the corner, but you were able to keep it on that bottom side and really protect the bottom, even off the corner exit. We saw you do that a few times in the last 10 or 15 laps there, and you were able to close the deal on Seth the Merchant. And when you're talking about a guy like him, a Cup champion here just at the end of 2015, and now with the sizable lead that he has in the Truck Series, that's a pretty formidable opponent you got there that you were battling with for that win.
Yeah, for sure. I knew if he got underneath me, that was going to be it for me. So I tried my best to run as defensive as I could and protect the bottom, and it just ended up working out. So.
Well, that it did. You pick up your third win on the season, your rookie season here at the Roddcar Truck Tour, and although I guess I wouldn't say you're out of the championship run, but you're definitely hard to make up points when the guy you're chasing finishes right behind you.
Yeah, for sure. I think moving into the chase, I'm going to have to try to mitigate my bad finishes a little bit, and hopefully be around at the end.
That's what it's all about, and picking up race wins is definitely a way to get the job done here tonight. But for that 52 machine, we know it happens with a bunch of other guys behind the scenes. Sponsors, shout-outs, who helped you get to Victory Lane for the second week in a row.
I got to thank Seth first for racing me hard but clean. And I got to thank all my friends that I hang out with, and Rod for putting this whole thing on. I know it takes a lot of time and money, and I appreciate that he does this for all of us.
Well, we appreciate the show that you put on week after week, and you were able to get it done last week with some great restarts at the end, and you were able to do it tonight as well on that final restart for yourself. Casey Malone, congratulations on the victory here at Dover tonight.
Thank you, sir.
There you have it, our race winner here, and I'm going to send it down now to pit road, and believe that Josh Ball has caught up with our second place finisher.
Yeah, down here with Seth the Merchant. We'll be looking for Brandon Traverco here in a second or two. Seth, what a good finish. Definitely tried to give the bumper a couple times there for that the win. Just couldn't get it done, but great battle there for the last couple laps.
Yeah, tried as hard as I could there. I didn't want to wreck him or anything for the win, but I wanted to try to pass him because he was blocking pretty good. So the only way I could really get around him is if I used the bumper, and just couldn't get it done. It seemed like no matter how hard I'd hit his truck, it wouldn't affect him at all. He was doing it perfectly. So it was a hell of a race, probably the best one so far this season. It was a lot of fun.
We saw him last week able to hold off Mark Jorgensen with a couple bumps from himself as well. But yeah, definitely tonight, he was on those 2 tires, actually no tires there as you came up through the field. It seemed like it was really hard to pass from up in the booth. I don't know how it was down from your truck, but that just seems to be a common theme in the night.
Yeah, the setup was really tight on exit, so whenever you were side by side with someone, the bottom lane would struggle on exit a lot, so you could just get a massive run on the top and just clear him back.
Yeah, we saw you be able to push the number 3 of Brandon Taberko out of the way a little bit there, going into 3 with about 10 laps to go. Definitely able to get around him, but not able to get it done on that the 52 of Casey Malone. Any differences, or it was just kind of a little bit, just maybe better tires at that point, or?
I think it's just the way I hit Taberko when I got to him. I got on and I hit him in the left rear, right on exit, and got him just enough loose so I could get under him. Whereas with Casey, I was kind of hitting him square, and it just wasn't getting him loose.
Well, great finish again tonight for the points leader, Seth the Merchant. Going to definitely gain on some positions, at least some points, especially here with the no chase format and the Roddcar Truck Tour. Like to any final sponsor shout-outs tonight here, Seth, before we let you go.
Just P Money Designs, Rod for putting on the league, and you guys for broadcasting.
All right, again, that's your second place finisher, Seth the Merchant. I think Andy's trying to catch up with Brandon Taberko somewhere down on pit road. I'm sure he's not too happy still with that 32 of Seth the Merchant, but he is, I think you caught up with him hopefully down there somewhere.
Yeah, I did finally catch up with the driver of the number 3. It's Brandon Taberko, and welcome back. Been a couple of weeks that you've been back here in the Roddcar Truck Tour, and you come home with the 3rd place finish here tonight. A little rough driving there up at the front after that restart. You got kind of pushed out of the way there by Seth the Merchant, but after that point there, you pretty much had a great view of that battle those guys had for the win.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun racing Seth and Malone. Absolutely no hard feelings towards Seth at all. I would have done the same thing with him being on 4 tires there. I mean, I would have done the same thing, no questions asked. If someone was holding me up, I know I was kind of a roadblock for him there, getting towards Casey, but all in all, I thought it was a really good race.
Yeah, it was a great race. A lot of green flag action in the beginning. You saw yourself come from that 14th spot all the way up to 3rd. You didn't do it awfully quick, though. It was kind of a methodical run. Was it just so hard to pass out there, or was that just kind of your goal tonight? Just pick them off one at a time, and eventually you'll get up to the front?
Well, to be honest, I've been dabbling in the new Cup car package, and with the way you have to drive the Cup car now, you have to lift early on entry, and it's still, with the truck, you have to drive it in deep, so it took a lot of adjusting for me to get used to having to drive it in the corners deep and actually be able to dog the car, I guess, per se, in comparison to the Cup car now. So it was just me turning more laps on the A car recently in comparison to the truck.
All right, so took you a little bit to get going, but you got going. You get yourself a 3rd place finish, and a good one at that here in this race. But with that said, sponsor shout-outs. Who helps you get that 3 truck to here at the racetrack every week?
Yeah, I got to thank Good Ranch, as always, for being on board. I got to thank Owen for wrecking Altman's there at the beginning of the race and sending him into the pit road, requiring extensive damage repair for him. And, yeah, that's about it.
There you have it, our 3rd place finisher on the night. That's the 3 of Brandon Taberko, and he will get the job done on the podium here tonight at Dover International Speedway. But, Josh, preview of what's coming up next on our Friday night doubleheader right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. The iSuper Speedway Series, the feature event, the B main first, 25 laps of that, and then a 50-lap A main feature. It all happens right at Talladega Motor Speedway here coming up next. And you kind of like this format, at least if you're one of those guys that locked yourself in like you did, because now you can sit and watch that B main. You don't have to worry about getting wrecked out. We saw that a couple of weeks ago. A couple big-name guys, Rod Flagg, Corey Henry, both of those guys getting knocked out in that B main and unable to collect any points on the night. So tough break for those guys. But it's one of those things that when you have these A and B mains, that can happen when you're racing at a restrictor plate.
Yeah, and there's actually a rule change as of this week. Due to part of that, a couple of people also expressed their interest. That rule is no longer in effect. So as long as you start the B main, you're eligible for a provisional, whether that be a normal provisional for points or a championship provisional. So hopefully that will eliminate any previous champions or any incidents, like we saw a couple weeks ago where a black screen where Casey Malone took out pretty much the entire field on the first turn of the first lap of a B main. So, hopefully going forward tonight, we switch it up a little bit. We're supposed to be at Daytona 07, back to Talladega. We also got a new setup on the track tonight, so that should be interesting for everybody to see. So we'll see it here in the B main to start with here in about 30 minutes or so. But Andy, I'm not really sure how it handles either, so I can't elaborate on that. It literally was just finished building today, so all new, totally new for everybody. It's going to slow the cars down once again, hopefully not hitting the ground as much, but definitely going to be some exciting racing later tonight.
Well, maybe this is one of those B mains you wish you were in then, maybe to get some seat time to figure this setup out. You're probably going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage coming into that 50-lap A main.
Yeah, and actually, the last time we had this discussion, it's kind of funny, you jogged my memory. The last time we switched setups, it was a really good race, I think. The setup was able to give the guys a little bit racy. Last week, just couldn't get that run, couldn't get a good suck on anybody. It really limited the passing. But yeah, you are right. I wish I was probably out there in the B main. Not the fact that I might miss the race, but just to get some seat time, as you said yourself. So hopefully we'll get in practice early on in that A main and get some seat time before the big show.
Well, that's exactly what we hope to happen. We're closing in on that, just about 35 or 25 minutes away, I should say, right here on iRacing Live and LSRTV. So hopefully you stay tuned with us. You've been watching the Roddcar Truck Tour. Want to congratulate again Casey Malone on a big victory, second in a row, third on the season here in the Truck Series, and he did a fantastic job holding on to that race lead late in the closing laps when Seth the Merchant was really putting the pressure and the bumper to him in the closing laps. But with that said, I want to thank everyone for tuning in right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. You've been watching the Roddcar Truck Tour. We hope you tune in just a little bit for the second half of our doubleheader here on Friday nights. See you then in about 25 minutes.